Welcome back to a new video. So in this workout, I had a bunch of hang work and some back squats, as the title does suggest. This workout did contain the heaviest squat of the training cycle so far. Not a PR or anything like that, but a heavy squat nevertheless. I actually did this workout in two different parts, and that's just because the snatch and the clean jerk work was pretty heavy, or at least I went heavy on them, and I wanted to have a little break before I went out to squat. There's a funny story about the squats, but I'll get to that once I'm to it. As you see here, these are hang snatch doubles. Nothing that was really too difficult till I got to 100. Once I got to 100, then I started to have some issues with making it. I took small jumps because they were doubles, and I wasn't really sure what I would actually be able to get up to. And I didn't want to immediately get up to weights that would be what I was kind of envisioning, where I would probably only be able to do, which ended up being pretty accurate. I figured like 105 would be really good to do for a double. And then like 110 was like if I am really cooking on this day. You see here, got up to 90. This is where I started to have a little bit of trouble. It's kind of a miss, kind of a make. It's one of those like make misses to where if I didn't get the second rep, I would have counted it as a miss. But I kind of made the first one, made the second one enough. Then took a small jump up here. This is not 100, just 95. And this was my last normal double. It's actually a little bit difficult, but a little bit better than the 90. Movement is not that unnatural, it's just not very fun. I'd rather do these above the knee from the blocks and whatnot, but you know, it's a different challenge, and I'm at least getting a lot of pull work in. This is the first that I did with 100, and here I think I just got a bit lazy. I was just a little bit out in front and ended up missing. I came back on the second set here and was able to make, sorry for that edit there. We're just going to leave it in so the commentary coincides with what I'm talking about. I was able to make the second double here. So I just tried harder. That was like literally all I was like, I just try harder and try to get under it faster. Just be more aggressive essentially, and it worked out fine. I don't know why I was making such a weird face, but sometimes you gotta make weird faces. 105 is where I started to have the biggest misses, or the most misses. And I'm not really sure, because like there, I was decently close, just a little bit out in front, and then I missed it, I believe, this second time as well. Again, like I was feeling like I was super close with it, but I don't know if it's because I was tired from doing the other work prior, but I was just like, it's right there. And I knew like I could do it. I could do it for at least one. And I, of course, managed to do it, and I tried to do it for a double, and I actually missed it behind. So I suppose if I get a workout similar to this, again, obviously the goal is to be able to get up to 105 without misses, so kind of a nice little goal for a similar workout if it does give it to me again. I don't know why I had so many hang snatches. It was like 7 sets of doubles originally, and then once I missed, I added another one, so it was really eight double attempts. And I think I even did more, so I might have done as many as like 10 quote-unquote working sets. I mean, if you count like 80 kilos a working set. Then here's 80. So these are just hang clean pause jerks. You're pleasantly surprised with how these are moving on this day. The speed and everything is feeling really good. The cleans are feeling like not painful or anything. I'm getting better at the hang cleans. I think one of the big things I was doing wrong, because I actually had this exercise again the day after this, was my feet just aren't really balanced when I'm doing like the stretch reflex. Once like my pull is fine on the way up, but then when I'm coming down to change directions to do the actual clean, my pull or my feet aren't like perfectly flat, or they just aren't in a ideal position. There's 120. And then I took the jump up to 135. And then 135, the clean actually moved pretty fast. And the jerk I was really happy with as well. After I made this, I knew that I had a good chance at trying 145. And I think the last time I did 140, so I was pretty stoked to be able to try this. In this first attempt, I was super close on the jerk. If I didn't have shelving in the way, I think I would have been able to take another step or two and stabilize it. But you know, when you got a big shelf in your way, it's not worth death or a 145 jerk. You kind of see there, I just didn't have that extra step to save it. So I came back and I was like, you know what? I felt like I could have done a better jerk, and I felt like it was close enough. So then I came back and I was actually able to do it on this one. I was more concerned actually with the clean, not like hurting myself, but it just being too difficult since I had already done a rep there. But the jerk was good enough, I should say. I had to dance around a little bit. And then I came back, so I had my glasses on, different shirt and everything. And when I was coming out to eventually squat, it started to storm and the door was open since my roommate was out here training. And so I had to sprint out there and get out there before the storm made the shed really wet. Because usually if it's just raining, it's not actually going to get into the shed. Typically, I could have the door open, but if it starts really blowing around, it does go directly into the shed. Or it can get really far into the shed. So if the door is closed, it's not too bad. But I think I did talk about that in a video the other day. I want to get some sand and kind of put that around like the bottom parts of the platform underneath it and stuff. So I think that would be good. But the program just asked or programmed a bunch of singles for the back squat, which are obviously more fun than reps. But the first one was 165 and it didn't feel the most comfortable, so I took a small jump up to 170. Because you usually see in the app, it's kind of similar with snatches on this day as well, when you're given like 7 sets of a movement, whether it's singles or doubles, you kind of assume that it wants you to kind of push up, or at least it gives you that flexibility of like, all right, time to start pushing a little bit. But you see there, I was able to do that 430, so the 195, and then jumped up to 205. If you remember, before I started the program, I did 200 for a single with my hips still hurting. And honestly, like the hardest part of that squat was like the strength part, which is nice. It wasn't the pain and discomfort. And I think the big thing that's starting to change now is I'm able to be more aggressive with the stretch reflex in my squats. So I'm starting to get back to like my normal technique. I'm not as apprehensive doing the movement. So hopefully that just correlates to continuing to get stronger. My body weight is up a little bit. I'm just a shade. I think I was like, I was 238 this morning, but I had just eaten a bunch of food. So I could have been a little bit under that, or at least around there. So I think that's probably helping with my recovery a little bit as well, which is good. So hopefully that, you know, everything continues to trend in the right direction. As you see with this workout, everything's going well. Just want to continue to make sure that I'm doing like the rehab exercises, stretching, and just trying to train hard while I'm in a caloric surplus and able to sleep a lot. So that's it for this one. Talk to you all in the next video. Peace.